Wabakimi. A vast expanse of unspoiled boreal wilderness, dotted by 10,000 lakes and pierced by numerous untamed rivers. Forming the second largest park in Ontario and one of the world's largest boreal preserves, her remote waterways see fewer than 700 paddlers per year. All right, we are about to kick off the start of an awesome 9-day trip here in Wabakimi Provincial Park and the Kopka River Provincial Park. We're going anywhere from about 140 to about 200 kilometers and upwards of 80 portages. So hopefully we can nix a bunch of those off by running or lining or wading some of these rapids en route. But we do know there's definitely some mandatory ones on the Kopka with some gorgeous sets of falls and canyons that we will definitely not be running. But yeah, we are super stoked for this. Leah and I are about to head off on an epic 9-day trip through Wabakimi and the Kopka. So, gonna be sweet. Nice. Yeah, buddy! We are on the Kopka River right now, and we are going to be going up the Collins River today. And it's kind of an unmaintained, lesser traveled route to get into Wabakimi.
Somewhere up there is a portage. Who knows where?
But our goal is to go up the Collins, get into a series of lakes in Wabakimi, and then loop back down via the Kopka. Our Wabakimi adventure would see us paddle over 200 kilometers through the southeastern reaches of this vast boreal wilderness. We would begin our journey by traveling upstream on the Collins River, once a historically well-used route leading to Wabakimi, but recent travel remained largely unknown. At the end of Rush Bay Lake, we would leave the Collins behind and portage over the height of land into the Agoki watershed, whose diverted waters now flow north to the Arctic Ocean. Once in Wabakimi Park, we would travel upstream on the Boiling Sands and Lookout Rivers through to a chain of larger lakes. Continuing upstream on smaller creeks, we would once again cross over the height of land and rejoin the Nipigon watershed, flowing south to the Great Lakes through to the waters of the storied Kopka River. After joining the Kopka, we would finally begin the downstream section of our route, paddling through countless rapids and portaging scenic falls. Eventually, we would reach the Seven Sisters, a series of breathtaking cascades cutting an impressive swath of ancient canyons and cliffs through the surrounding bedrock. After leaving the sisters behind, our final days would be spent paddling the larger lakes back to where we began our adventure 9 days earlier. It's going to be a pretty incredible trip. I'm thinking the portages may be pretty brutal, pretty grueling. Alright, we have found the first portage on the Collins.
Portage numero uno out of 80.
I've got a couple options, got a couple different map sets printed out here. It depends on how the days really go. Like, we don't really know what we're going to face going upriver on the Collins here. So we'll play it by ear and plan our route out.
I'm really excited. This is my first long trip of the year. Last year we did a nice 10-day on Superior, so this is very different considering there's over 80 portages and we had no portages on the last trip. So I'm excited because I am one of those weird people who likes to portage.
Up we go!
Oh my god. Oh my god, this pack.
Walls are here to support Me.
So back heavy.
Bag. As big as me. So I have to make sure I don't turn myself in the process. That's first done. Now we commence the climb. Onward go. Portage fuel. So this is exactly why it's worth canoeing upriver. This is the view you get when you've done your portage. Absolutely breathtaking. Can't believe this is in Canada. I was not expecting the columns to be this picturesque. I was expecting just the Kopka.
The Collins River was one of those unexpected wilderness gems. We had not anticipated to witness this stunning geography until we had reached the Kopka. The topos indicated steep slopes, but the ancient gorges, cliffs, and scree fields that lay before us were far more revealing than just squiggly lines on a map. Roughly 10,000 years ago, many of these canyons extending into the Nipigon Basin served as outlet channels to ancient glacial lakes. The power of the meltwaters carved these narrow fissures through the rock, leaving behind some of the most breathtaking landscapes in the province.
So what do you think of the Collins?
It's much prettier than expected. I thought it was going to be kind of boring, but so far it's proving very, very beautiful.
A pretty spot. Cliffs on the Collins.
Look at the size of these boulders.
I know, like the size of my freaking Subaru.
That one up there for sure is the size of my Ram.
It's huge.
We took our time heading upstream on the Collins, taking in the sights and easing into our trip. Travel on the river had been surprisingly easy, given it was a lesser-known route on the fringes of Wabakimi. It was an early evening when we finally reached the placid waters of Rush Bay Lake and set about preparing the first night's camp. Tomorrow, we would leave the Collins River behind and tackle a series of portages connecting a handful of small headwater lakes, eventually guiding us to the southern boundaries of Wabakimi.
We don't fish often, but when we do, we fish big. Oh, I'm trying to scoop, but I can't reach him. Oh no! Oh my god! I caught my first pike!
Let him go?
Yeah.
See you later, buddy.
I think you got a barracuda. Oh, he's fighting. Yay! Ah!
Holy shit. Are you okay?
Got me.
Hold your hair. Be very careful. Don't just pull it out.
This is why I don't like fishing.
Yeah, it looks like a walleye.
Ah! You are lucky. I could have lost an ear.
It's not my fault. It's the fish's fault. He spat it out.
We were ahead of schedule, but with over a week of paddling ahead of us, we knew we couldn't get too comfortable. We still had to travel upstream along 4 creeks and rivers, and portage the height of land between the Agoki watershed, flowing north to the Arctic Ocean, and the Nipigon watershed, flowing south to the Great Lakes. Good morning, good morning. We are on day 2 of our Wabakimi adventure. We are on a crownland chain of lakes, We've come up the Collins River, and today we are going to go into Wabakimi Provincial Park itself. So, should be pretty good. We are just going to do the first of several portages. Thankfully it's fairly short, but looking pretty bushy. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so our easy portage is kind of petered out, and we're in some crappy, swampy thing. There's some like really old blazes on a jack pine at the top of this hill. We kind of bushwhacked up. There's really no portage trail whatsoever here. It's just nasty, knee-deep, marshy, boggy stuff, and then probably like a 2-story tall beaver dam. It is absolutely insane that we were about to ascend, so let's get her done. What is a trip without bushwhacking? This is a little easier than we thought it was going to be. Mother Nature has to spite us. Well, that wasn't the worst. Bushwhack number 2.
Oh man. Yep. It's almost done. Better than the last one. More water.
Oh baby. Super tiring. I guess the Collins is a little tricky once you pass Rush Bay, which actually isn't the Collins anymore. But we're about to cross the rail tracks, and hopefully from here on in it's a little better, because now we're going to be entering Wabakimi Provincial Park. So fingers crossed.
That last portage was fantastic.
I think you're getting a little sunstroke. Oh man, there is no portage. Unless this is the portage. We've come up to a dry lake and we're gonna slug across the dry lake. Why not? It's just across the plains of death. Okay, so we've been dragging and lining and whatnot, and we couldn't find a portage. The reason being, there's a really gnarly old portage in there that's like just bush city. Like we can even barely follow it without packs on. So put the canoe on the head and see what we can see, because it's a little better than bushwhacking, but not really much better than bushwhacking. That was brutal. Absolutely brutal. But now it looks like we've got, oh, I don't know, 10K of paddling ahead of us, so let's get some water and go. Hey, when you're done this gnarly portage, there's a chair waiting for you. You can sit out and contemplate what you just did. The evening of day 2 was spent on the rocky shores of Nome Lake. We had endured close to 6 hours bushwhacking the height of land portages to the Agoki watershed. It was evident that few, if any, had passed through here in recent years,
a surprise given how easy travel along the Collins had been just the day before. Exhausted and drained, we retired to our tent early, as tomorrow would bring a lengthy push deeper into Wabakimi's interior.
Alright, it is the morning of day 3 here in Wabakimi Provincial Park. We're on Nome Lake right now. Kind of in between schedules, so I have no idea what we're going to do in terms of our route plan right now. Kind of left things up in the air in terms of distances and destinations, but we're going to start things off with a 1.6k portage today. Just got about 3k of paddling down this lake, and we get to the portage. So we'll see how that goes, and based on the next series of portages, we'll decide what we're going to do today. But all we know is we're going to be paddling and portaging. So let's get at her. Well, I found a clear portage, thankfully this time. It's pretty steep at parts, but there's a deep ravine down there with just muskeg sort of stuff, so you can see why we're up high. Not too bad, just trying to even out the canoe, but it's pulling a little on the back, so hopefully this will help us. How's she going?
I got stuck on that tamarack.
Oh no. How's the weight feel?
Heavy.
Heavy? Is you okay with it though?
Yeah.
You need help strapping things down, or?
No, I just need to take a couple. I just need to go slow, that's all.
Alright, we were going to go up into Chipmunk and Cache Lakes. Decision point time. We didn't get as far as we wanted to yesterday. We're kind of at that awkward spot where we could go further, add a bunch of distance, or just do a couple shorter days to spend more time fishing and whatnot. Maybe spend more time doing some photos, videos, and all that stuff. So we opted for the latter, and getting up to Chipmunk Creek. I don't know if it's Chipmunk Creek, but we'll call it Chipmunk Creek. It's not labeled on the map. Going up here, Chipmunk Lake, then a short 100-meter portage over to Cache Lake. Maybe add a little more distance tomorrow. We'll go down one of the other creeks. Looks like there's a little elevation to get out of Cache, just to keep things interesting. So we will see. But yeah, now a bit of creek paddling ahead of us. Should be pretty fun. What does it look like out there?
Storm's coming. Big storm's coming. We're gonna get rained on, probably.
Oh yeah, wind! Man. Yeah, that dark line of rain in front of us might be coming our way very shortly. Rainy day. Wabakimi. escaped one storm, finally had a bit of blue sky, and we were able to make it to Cache Lake, but the skies behind us now are getting pretty dark. I wanted to go out fishing this evening, maybe catch some walleye for dinner, but it's starting to rain right now and there's lightning on the horizon, so not a happening thing. I think we're going to be doing another dehydrated meal, but we got some real bangers for tonight anyways, so we'll see. Dig through the Big Blue food barrel and find something tasty as we wait out this another round of thunderstorms. Hopefully not that bad this time.
That is going to be a hearty beef stew.
What you making for us, Brad?
We are attempting beef stew and dumplings. Beef stew we know how to do. Dumplings first time, and I put too much water, so yeah. We'll see. It's gonna be tasty either way. Guaranteed.
Time to reveal dinner.
Jesus.
Feed a family of 4.
Yeah, the dumplings worked out, eh?
Oh yeah.
You said you were hungry today.
Starving.
Good old beef stew and dumplings. Super easy to make, super hearty.
Gorgeous morning here on Cache Lake. The sun has come up. It has been rain-free now. Things are out drying. Starting our descent down towards the Kopka. So we've got a bit of creek travel today, some small rivers, bigger lakes. Kind of scaled back some of the plans so far, but you know, it should be a good day, afford us more time for fishing and taking some photos and videos and stuff to enjoy in the park. Lots of little portages here and there. Some of them can be hard to find at times. A couple yesterday too, going through some of the marshy, boggy areas weren't really well traveled, but you got to keep an eye out for blazes and thin traveled paths and some smushed up lichens. But so far so good. Besides those couple of portages on the Collins, now that we're here in Wabakimi, there are some signs of maintained trails. Definitely a harder to paddle route if you're used to places like Algonquin or Ketiko and stuff like that, but definitely worth the adventure out here. Super awesome. So yeah, sunny day. It's calm right now. Let's get some kilometers in.
Today would see us leave the larger lakes behind, as we paddled a network of creeks and rivers. It was a portage-laden day, and we sought to avoid as many as possible by lining or wading their shallow waters.
So Brad's lining down a pretty big creek. And I said, oh, I'll go ahead and take a video of you when you get to the bottom. But of course, the one time the portage doesn't end exactly right where the creek ends. That's where we are right now, so I can hear him banging down the creek. But I cannot see him, so I will not be able to film. Hooray, he survived. There he is. Sadly, we missed all the action. Hello.
Yeah, crazy big forest fire, eh?
2 moose swimming across the lake. Not every day you see that. Oh, it's down to the Kopka. But we're going upstream now too.
Dang.
Going up the Lookout River.
What up? Portaging Aldridge Creek. Kind of glad we actually shortened our route a bit. It's portage heavy, giving us a little more time to fish and swim. Oh yeah, just a warm up for the Kopka. Oh man, these are marshy as f. Oh, that's a boot sucker. Damn, man.
No big trouble.
Yeah, going upstream on Aldridge Creek now. So, let's see how easy this is. This is why you secure your paddle.
Shallow water. It's also very hot, so having a nice little dip. And Brad did the hard ones, so now I'm doing really easy, making it look tough.
Shall we portage again? Common theme of the day.
Woo!
So we're on Beagle Lake. And there's this massive wall of cliffs here. Just incredible. And we were not expecting this at all.
A little shocked. Thought this was going to be a really boring flat lake. And it's absolutely gorgeous.
Let's go check them out, shall we? Might be some pictographs on these ones.
Awesome spot here on Beagle Lake. These cliffs are pretty scenic. Some very faded pictographs here. Very cool. Very moving spot. Awesome.
Much like the Collins, the cliffs of Beagle Lake were an unexpected sight to behold. Stretching down the lake for nearly half a kilometer, the imposing rock walls remained largely hidden by the lines on a map. Yet another of Wabakimi's many secrets.
Super cool. Beagle Lake, pretty special spot.
Nice. Ta-da! Yeah. We like tonight. Not bad. That's a big boy. So, gonna have fish tacos tonight. Unfortunately, it's pike and not a walleye. Really wanted walleye, but first cast out there and bam, he hooked in and he's a good size. So we'll get some nice fillets off him. Get some good boneless ones too, so good belly.
Yummy. Brad cut and filleted the fish, and now we're rehydrating refried beans. We just rehydrated queso that's also mixed with salsa, so it's got a nice kick to it. Some fresh cabbage to put on, like a slaw. And then Brad's gonna batter up the fish, and we've got some corn tortillas. And we also have fresh limes. And I brought my zester, so we can zest some fresh lime zest on it. And we have some onion as well, so we can maybe beer batter some of the onion, depending on how much we have left over. And it'll be really tasty. I'm very excited about it. I made us pina coladas, so it's gonna be a Mexican fiesta. It's gonna be pretty awesome.
We got some nice boneless fillets right here. It's always hard with the Y bones, but you can get some nice fillets off the bottom of them without the Y bones in, and this will be perfect for fish tacos tonight.
Oh, hot.
It did just come off the fryer. How's the fish tacos?
Tastes like heaven.
Ooh, windy morning here. Good morning. Great day too. Rained last night. We are on Beagle Lake. Definitely a great day. Definitely looks like it's gonna rain a bit. But we're gonna make our way down Aldridge Creek a little more today, trying to get down to the Kopka. So, got a couple longer portages. See how it goes, and hopefully this rain holds off. We're gonna leave behind this gorgeous little open island campsite and make our way up the creek today to get to the Kopka, hopefully. Let's hope the rain stays up.
Let's get the show on the road before the bugs get us. Come on.
Portages are a little more spaced out. Paddle 5K, portage 2 or 3 times, paddle 6K, portage 2 or 3 times. A lot of them seem pretty short. Hopefully we can line them again. Is really nice. Can we get some more cliffs in front of us here too? Nice. Yeah. You see the blaze, or? I don't think we're lining up that stream. Looks a little bony. Portage these. Portage in Aldridge Creek. Let's get her done. Steep start.
I'll put this ridge here.
You know, for that early morning quad, calf, and glute workout that I so desperately need. Just another short one, double carrying pretty much all the really short ones. Anything over 200 meters, we'll single carry, but you know, you gotta strap down the camera case, put away the fishing rods, all that nonsense if we want to single carry efficiently. Half the time, if they're short like this, double carry only takes us about 5 minutes anyways. So, easy peasy. One more portage after this, then we're on Aldridge Lake. We're getting closer to the Kopka. Oh geez, that's a stump.
So the last 3 kilometers to the Kopka River are going to prove to be absolutely challenging. We just did a 60-meter portage, which was super easy. And then we're supposed to have about 500 to 600 meters of creek travel, but as you can see, there is no creek.
This looks fun.
So we're gonna have to push over the creek instead, and then followed immediately by a 700 meter portage with about a 500 meter paddle and then a 1 kilometer portage. So it's gonna be challenging and it's gonna be hard, and hopefully the sight at the end of this is all worth it.
We are fen whacking. Oh, and sinking up to my ankles in fen muck. So we came off this 90 meter portage just south of Aldridge Lake trying to get down to the Kopka. And there's supposed to be this creek that we follow for like 100 or 200 meters. But the creek, she is pretty dry. And I mean, we could try to line the canoe up it or pull it, but we tried going a little far on it. It's pretty evident we're just gonna exhaust ourselves going through thick mucky shit. So the alternative is just to walk everywhere. I don't see a bloody portage.
Oh my god, this is not what I was expecting. I thought today was gonna be nice and easy, and it relatively was. Until the last 3 kilometers.
All right, look at this. There's a blaze and flagging tape.
Another 750 meters we have to do, or 700, which, in addition to that, it's basically another kilometer.
Oh, this isn't any better. It's just a bog, man.
Final portage of the day.
Woo! Let's get her done. Down to the Kopka. 1,000 meters, baby.
Yay! Almost at the Kopka.
Check it out, man. View from my canoe. Yeah, boy. To the Kopka we go. Holy moly. It is boggy and hot. All right, we made it to the Kopka. Woo! And now we work our way downstream.
We finally get to go with the current.
I know, eh? After all this, we've gone up like 3 different creeks and rivers. Oh, yowzers.
I'm just gonna stay, like, see where all that big splash is coming off on the road down? I'm gonna weave between us.
Okay, let's go in and pick a line, eh, babes? Just keep a wide eye for rocks and shout as you see things. Nice. Easy class 1.
That was fun.
Good warm up. Oh, it's gorgeous in here. Heading downstream for the first time on our journey, we were thrilled to be on the Kopka River and eager to face some easy warm-up rapids. Over 40 sets of rapids and falls lay before us as the river tumbles down to the shores of Nipigon. Yeah, far left. Upstream ferry, yep. And dig. Yep, nicely done. Pull the bow over to the right. Nice. A little techie. That was like a technical class 1.
Yeah.
All right, first camp on the Kopka River. We are in this old burn area. We've got this lovely rock facing these rapids. We've got quite a nice view and a nice flat spot for the tent here. It's actually on the portage, but I don't think we're gonna see anyone on this river at 7 o'clock at night here.
Yeah, we've got it all to ourselves and we're gonna enjoy it. Should be awesome.
All right, tonight's dinner is chicken Alfredo. We got frying up some onions, some garlic, some sun-dried tomato, some mixed mushroom madness here. Gonna do these all up, saute them, add them to our rehydrating Alfredo. A little extra Parmesan cheese on the side too. Should be delicious.
Turn out okay?
Doesn't look super appealing, but oh my god, it's so good.
Happy Thursday on the Kopka. We're at this gorgeous portage campsite here overlooking the first big set of rapids that we've come to. We're actually able to run quite a few sets of small class 1s and swifts so far. We're on this stretch of about 5 to 10 kilometers of river where there's supposedly almost 20 sets of swifts and class 1s. Some we may or may not be able to run. Depending upon water levels, because it is a little lower. It is August, so we'll see. We do have the spray deck on the canoe, so if we get some of the bigger white water, we can run it. But again, being August, we're not really thinking we're going to be hitting anything major. But yeah, hopefully we'll have some fun today. There are a couple marked portages on the map, and usually where the marked portages are, there are bigger rapids and or falls. So even if we're not running anything, they should be scenic. Another gorgeous morning, eh? Gorgeous morning on the Kopka.
It's the morning of day 6, and we're gonna head down the Kopka, some of the more bigger lakes like Sanderson and a few others that I can't remember the names of. And there's not that many portages, which is exciting because there's a number of rapids that we can either run or line, which is exciting. The water's pretty low though, so we'll probably be able to run most of them.
Got a set of rapids up ahead?
Yeah.
Could be. Like I said, nothing's marked on the topo, but like any of the little pinch points on here looks like they could be rapids. Mind you, I don't see any for a bit. Man, we need like another like 6 inches of water. Good job though. That was a good maneuvering going over the left there. Looks like straight down the center. Fun, easy rapids, eh? Get any water in the boat?
Oh yeah.
Very pretty.
We're finally starting to get some ridges.
Yeah, topography's picking up a bit now, eh?
Yeah.
A little more canyons, a little more boulders. Oh, it's gorgeous down here. Wow. Looking forward to running multiple sets of class 1s and swifts. Hopefully a class 2. Fingers crossed we get a class 3. I don't know, being August, low water levels. Hey babes. Love you too. Let's have some fun. Right through the waves. brace there you did, babe. Fantastic brace. There you go. All right, wrap it on the Kopka. Wow, what a wind. Yay! Woo! We were ahead of schedule because we kind of opted for the easier route just with the sheer volume of portages and give ourselves a little more time to relax and enjoy the Boreal here. So now being ahead of schedule, I think we're going to have a fairly relaxing next couple of days on our way out of here. So yeah, we're going to soak up the scenery and enjoy. We're having fun so far, and the scenery here is just amazing. Like, everything changes from swampy sort of fen shorelines to rocky ridges, open granite areas. So yeah,
And the forest is absolutely beautiful up here. And the lakes are gorgeous and all the rocks. The Kopka is proving to also be that way. It's very, very gorgeous, constantly changing as well. And I definitely come back multiple times. Love it.
The Kopka River had so far lived up to its pre-trip expectations. Plenty of white water, amazing campsites, and eye-catching scenery around every bend. But we knew the best was still to come. After all, the Seven Sisters lay in wait.
happy Friday. It is a cool and windy day out today. Feels a little more like September out here. We're going to be making our way down the Kopka River towards the Seven Sisters, which is a series of magnificent waterfalls. Really looking forward to getting down there. Now the way our trip plan is going to work out, looks like we're going to have 2 easy days to finish off the trip, but that just means maybe more time to hang around the waterfalls. This wind should be a nice tailwind today, pushing us along for the majority of it.
Very, very excited to get down to the Seven Sisters because there's a couple sites down there that look really amazing. It's the reason why I wanted to do this river for a very long time. So it'll be good. And then the last 2 days we just get to relax. Let's go.
What'd you just say?
Let's roll out.
We can roll out.
Yeah, definitely not running those rapids.
Well, that one's pretty. Quite the island complex there.
Yeah.
Beauty day on the Kopka River. It actually warmed up. Just passed by a series of unfortunately unrunnable rapids. Pretty bouldery. Would be a really, really technical class 2, approaching class 3. And a lot of deadfall across the river too. So not really advisable to run in August right now. It's a 400 meter portage. Takes us down into Kennecanis Lake? I don't know. We're gonna be down on a long lake. And after that we're gonna be taking the Seven Sisters, the waterfalls over there. So, yeah, big lake travel ahead of us. Hopefully the winds are in our favor.
We're just keeping those boulders
right to our right. Right down that little V. Yep.
It's gonna be bumpy here. Yep, bit of a bump and grind. It just looks like Swiss at this point, and I can't see what's around the bend there, so we'll want to stop. We won't want to go any further. See the eddy down there? Let's go to the right of that rock. Once we get past this rock, we'll catch the eddy. Just so we know what we're dealing with. After this boulder, after this boulder, after this boulder. Nice. Well done. Shallow rapids here on the Kopka River. We can run about, I'd say, 95% of it, but the bottom's pretty shallow boulder garden. There's one good line on river left, except there's one giant boulder in the way. I mean, we mess up with that, we're pinning the canoe, so we're gonna play it safe. Gonna go down the right channel, bump and grind, and then just line the canoe down the rest of the way. We don't want to have a disaster this close to the end of our trip. You ready? It's gonna be bumpy. So we're gonna play it safe, have a little fun anyways in this little technical class 1, dodging some boulders here, but yeah, it should be good. Let's do it. Going through these 2 boulders here. Now which way are you going? And I think now we line. Ready to catch that turn, but doesn't go all the way down, okay? Give us a slack. Well, that's how it's done! All the falls on the Kopka have some pretty gnarly steep portage trails.
A very, very recent blowdown. Another blowdown. That must have happened incredibly recently. There. Holy moly. Good.
Crazy, eh?
I love it. I love it.
Let's go find ourselves a sick campsite.
All right, another gnarly descent on the Kopka.
Good job, babe.
So we've made it to the 7 sisters on the Kopka River. This is the first sister. And she is gorgeous. Wow. So cool. All right, let's go find ourselves some slice of paradise.
This is why you canoe the Kopka.
We have made it here
on the Kopka River to Seven Sisters, and we are setting up camp right now, kind of high on this precipice, overlooking this amazing little canyon. Behind us there is this amazing waterfall chute pouring down there, and then in behind there's just these towering big cliffs. Absolutely amazing, gorgeous spot. This is one of the nicest spots I think we've ever been to. It's really hard to believe that this is in Ontario. Absolutely amazing. Just words cannot describe how awesome this is. So we got here fairly late in the day. We slept in a bit too, but we're gonna stay here a while tomorrow. We don't have too far to go now. We've got 2 days to get out of here, so we're gonna relax, enjoy, and take in the splendor of the Seven Sisters here. Awesome day of paddling on the Kopka.
It's an absolutely beautiful sight here. Somebody's distracting me. It's an absolutely beautiful sight. There's a massive waterfall that we're looking over. It's a panoramic view of perfection. We just finished dinner and now we have the most amazing fire pit ever. It is a huge, huge rock wall that's just made out of a massive piece of granite from the looks of it. And it's amazing because it doesn't spark at all. It puts off so much heat and it just reflects off the back wall. And we're able to dry all of our stuff that got completely soaked on one of the last set of rapids today. Probably one of the nicest sites Brad and I have ever stayed at in our entire 7 years of tripping together. Top site?
Fantastic spot. Cliffs, waterfall, canyon, perfection.
The Kopka's Seven Sisters are unlike anything else we encountered on our Wabakimi adventure. The river tumbles 65 meters through a series of 7 incredible cascades, pooling below in cliff-rimmed lakes and pierced by a maze of adjacent canyons. It had been a challenge at times to reach, but the raw beauty of this place was well worth every struggle.
Absolutely gorgeous day here on the Kopka River. We're gonna make our way down further down the Seven Sisters today. We've got a rope ascent portage ahead of us, and then after that, maybe a couple rapids we can run, but we're not really gonna go far today. We're just gonna explore this amazing little lake with cliffs all around us here, these boulders, canyons, and cliffs. So today is all about exploration and having a good time out here on the water, enjoying the sights of the Kopka. This is just incredible. It's hard to believe this is in Ontario. It feels like something like down in Texas when we paddled the Rio Grande or whatnot, but absolutely amazing, beautiful scenery out here. Fantastic. Cool. So we're about to do about a 250 meter portage around one of the last big drops here on the Kopka. There's two sides, there's river left and river right. The little map we have there says old portage, river left recommended, but we're taking the river right one, says tough and steep, takes time. I'm not really sure how it's gonna look, but
Yeah, we'll take it anyways. I figure both ways of going down are gonna be pretty gnarly because there's a good drop anyways, so.
Man, oh boy. She is a rocky steep descent.
We will see how this goes. Up for a bit of mountain goating, eh?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. We're going down now, buddy. Oh yeah, scree field.
Easy does it. Oh man. Gotta be like part mountain goat on this stuff, man.
Now it's my turn. I should put the camera away for this. We probably descended about 50 feet and we probably still have about another 50 or so to go, if not longer. So it's kind of challenging. I would try to film more while I'm going down, but I'll likely face plant if I do it that way. So maybe you'll get a shot of it, maybe you won't.
How am I gonna balance? Do that shit. Oh god. Let's go, canoe. Yeah, there you go, buddy. Yeah. What fun. Oh boy. Oh man.
Made it. Brad and I were just saying it feels like we're in Lord of the Rings somewhere on this steep death portage, which is really fun actually. I've been talking about it all trip because I love portages.
You're nuts.
Aye aye.
Absolutely amazing. This is incredible. 7 Sisters on the Kopka River, just amazing. A lot of work to get here, 9 days of paddling and portaging. Awesome trip. Kopka River is just an amazing river to paddle. Scenes like this are incredible. It's the portage we didn't do, and has a massive rope descent coming off essentially the lip of the falls over here. Unreal. Wow. Incredible.
Coming in. Ready with the net. Oh,
I am. I just don't know where to go.
come on, buddy. Where are you going?
He said no.
Oh, it's a pike, I think. Get ready with the net, babe.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yo, that's a pike.
Whoa!
Holy lifted. Oh my god, that's a pike.
How big? Is it bigger than our dinner pike?
Way bigger than our dinner pike. Well, sorry buddy, I think your dinner.
We're having fresh pike for dinner tonight. That is a good sized pike. We'll get some lovely steaks off that guy. Delicious.
Pike. People need to eat more pike. Don't throw them away when you catch them. Eat them. So we have another edition of Backcountry cocktails with Leah. My favorite thing to drink in the summer is pina coladas, so I figured let's try making backcountry pina coladas. So I have powdered coconut milk, limes, coconut pineapple, flavor enhancer, a Nalgene of pineapple rum. So what you do first is you have to pre-make the coconut powdered milk, so you just do that in a separate bowl. Then you add some water and you whisk it. Next I add our pineapple rum. Then you just add the coconut milk. Throw in a couple squirts of the enhancer. You take a fresh lime. Then you take a zester. Finally, you cut the lime in half, squirt in a whole bunch, and voila! Enjoy! Wabakimi was absolutely beautiful. It wasn't at all what I was expecting. The portages are incredibly well maintained, except for those 3 going in from Collins into the actual park, but that's not part of the park, so I mean, I don't blame them. But they're maintained by First Nation crews here up in northwestern Ontario, and they maintain them in a traditional sense with just blazes. They keep the trail small so no undergrowth can come in. Rocks everywhere. Every single lake looked completely different. And yeah, all the sites were gorgeous. So it was perfect. I loved it.
Final morning here, unfortunately, on the Kopka River. We've only got about 5 kilometers or so to go to get back to the car. Kind of sad ending our big trip out here in Kopka and Wabakimi. It's been an absolutely amazing place to paddle. I mean, we've been blown away by the scenery, huge cliffs, amazing falls, some great little rapids, really scenic rocky lakes, and great fishing too.
I'm sad. It's the last day and I don't want to go back to work. And it's been so beautiful and so nice and relatively relaxing. And yeah, I kind of want to go back into the park. Go back up to the Seven Sisters and check out that final site on the last plunge. It was absolutely beautiful. So I'm sad it's over, but it was really amazing.
Unfortunately, this is our last day. We've been having a great time out here. Leah and I will definitely be coming back to northwestern Ontario at some point in time to do more Wabakimi. You got to check this place out. The Kopka is fantastic, and some of those hidden, lesser traveled routes in Wabakimi, they're pretty incredible too. We were blown away by the Collins and the scenery on that as well too. And the Seven Sisters on the Kopka is just one of those top 10 places to paddle in Ontario. Really, really awesome place to go tripping. Nothing like paddling into an early morning sunrise too, huh? Well, what a great trip.
Yeah.
Lots of fun. Love Wabakimi. The Kopka River was just amazing. Today we're gonna have to run about 400 meters of class 1 and class 2 to get down to our final lake where we parked the car. Nice way to start our morning, eh? We're actually camped right beside the set of rapids, so we were able to scout it last night. It looks a little bouldery in parts, but there's a nice little long class 1 section here, and then it drops into a pool, and then after that there's a little 100-meter class 2 run, which should be pretty fun. All right. And then swing left. Sneak to the right, sneak to the right, yeah. Good job. We'll sneak between that one. Yep. Job well done. Job well done.
Now all I can think about is a greasy hamburger with a side of coconut cream pie. So hopefully I can get that when I get off this river.